Peace and Black Power. Welcome to another edition of Baba TV Live. Out here with Sonetta. Oh, there you go. There. Can you hear me? We in the building? Are we in the building? Can you hear me, family? Say something to me. Talk to me. All right. Brother Shabazz, very briefly, talk to me a little bit about, I mean, the devil is the goddamn devil, but the latest scandal with the FBI on Trump's behind, I know you heard about that. When, what's going, give us a little wisdom on what's going, are they playing games or what? That's the mic, that white piece right there.
Peace, people. The whole Trump fiasco is a game. Why would we pay attention to what they doing to that nigga when all of the shit that's happening to your people right now while that shit's going on? They know he done committed treason. They know he done committed and broke and violated at least 10 or 15 federal laws. But they ain't did nothing. Had it been anybody else, they'd have been knocked off the box. So that's just a smoke screen. Don't waste your time with Trump. Get your shit ready for what's going on right now. Them police still knocking niggas off. They had a little riot up here yesterday where the kids was fighting the police. Yeah. Right there on 125th off Lennox. I was in the subway station when they beat the kid up. And that's why I be telling my son. They had 100 police out here with the captains, deputy inspectors, lieutenants, all of the top brass. You just seen two of them walk by just now. This summer's gonna be hot. And they're more scared right now than you think they are. But they got you playing the fear tactic. People, please wake up. Don't let this summer catch you and y'all get wiped out. Because it's coming. My condolences to Sister Winnie, who was a trooper, who was really one of the top pioneers in that African movement. She held Nelson's thing all the way down. She was actually more feared than he was. And it's a shame that that whole thing was compromised for Nelson to have any movement. In order for him to play the presidential role, he had to get rid of Winnie. But in getting rid of Winnie, he married his main man's wife. Winnie was a warrior, and she'll always be known as a true warrior. She was an example for black women how to be with their man in his presence and behind his back. A lot of people gonna make money off her death like they always do. Her greatness you can't really put into words, but you can let the people see the work she did. Because you judge a person by their work. Sister, rest in peace.
I got one question because I live up in Syracuse, New York, and there's reservations all around Syracuse. The closest one is the Onondaga Reservation. And when I go out there from time to time and go to the smoke shop and different things and so forth, They don't. The people in there don't look. They my color. They look like Will Rogers babies. These do not look like. Every once in a while you'll see a more original looking Onondaga, but the rest of them look like they my color.
You got to remember, the original so-called American Indian was black. Then 14,000 years ago, you had a migration that the Asian-looking so-called American Indian. Then in the 1800s, you had the Caucasian buy his way in. So right now, the majority, a lot of these reservations, you'll see Caucasian-looking Indians. Those are the ones that's running the reservations. This is why the Indian is still fucked up. They married the daughters of chiefs, and this is how they got in. And they sit on the council boards right now. They control the reservations. They control the casinos. They controlling all of this paper. Only for a minute though, because the youth whose parents were original Indians, they're about to flip the script on you. And it's just like you have people in our community who look like us but more fucked up than the white man. You got Indians that look like crackers that's more fucked up
Shabazz in the building,
than the white man.
Bringing y'all that fire. Make sure we got it. Yo, go in front of your bed so they can see your joint.
That was a nice way of telling us to get in front of your shit.
Oh, me. Yeah, because they look like Will Rogers, and they got the spirit. They don't have, when they present themselves, I get this vibration. They don't have the native spirit.
See, the devil can copy all of the similarities and the features. He can talk the talk, but he can't live the walk. Those people who are posing as Native Americans don't have the spirit. You can't buy that. You can't buy the nature. So if you have that nature in you, when you go amongst them, you see it. And when you go amongst them others who are acting like them, you see that they don't have it. No matter how much they try, they can put all the regular on. All of this is costume. Ain't nobody really into nothing they're wearing. You got Ankh wearers, cross wearers, star and crescent wearers, moon wearers, third eye wearers. You got all these people wearing all of these things, but nobody is into anything for real. It's all cosmetics. I want to fit in. Assalamu alaikum, brother. That's the password. So they figure they're going to get in. You can't fake the nature of nothing. That is one game no one can play. You might talk the talk and get away for a minute, but there's something in you that's going to make you revert back to being you. And if you ain't true to this shit, it's going to come out. Everybody is coming out now. The sun is out. The heat is coming out. They say niggas draw heat. No. Heat draw niggas. We like heat. Why? Because fire is a purifier. And it only burns up things that are impure. Fire don't burn nothing pure. You can't burn gold. You can't burn diamonds. You can't burn up or extinguish or eliminate life. But everything else that's impure, you can get rid of it by burning it up. That's why all your demons and all your movies, what is the one thing they get rid of them with? Fire. Everything is gotten rid of with fire. So when the sun comes out and the temperature rises, it causes all of the germs in the people to wake up. And all the bacteria that you have in you, that you didn't know you had because during the winter it was dormant, now it wakes up. And you begin to get sick. You begin to have head colds. You begin to have headaches. You begin to become very disagreeable, even with yourself. Because nature is doing its job. It's going to bring out of you what's you. In the last days, no one can hide. You might want to hide, but you can't. It's best to be yourself. Even if you don't understand yourself fully, be yourself. Because the only thing that changes is a lie. A lie will constantly change from moment to moment, and the liar never really remembers his whole lie. 30 seconds after he tells you the lie, ask him the same statement, and I guarantee you he will repeat it with differences. But the truth always remains the same. It never changes under no condition. It don't need a party. It don't need backup. It don't need no yes niggas, because the truth stands on its own. And the job of the truth is to knock falsehood brains out. A lie and the truth can't hang out together. They are not friends, associates. They don't have rap sessions. They don't debate. One comes, the other leaves. We got to understand that principle. In order for the original people to gain control of this world, that other one has to leave. So with all of the lectures that they've had, the whole thing has been, you've talked all of the history, now give me the solution. And no one is giving a solution. The solution is separation. You'll never understand what it is to be yourself if you're always around something other than yourself. You have to separate yourself from everything else and get a chance to see who you are, how you feel, what you're thinking, without being tampered with. And that will only take place when you are separated from everything other than yourself. So two forces can't occupy the same space at the same time. We can't say we about building a nation, at the same time you want to play with the devil. For whatever reason. We was taught the devil must study 35 to 50 years before he's allowed to come back amongst you. Then it's to do trade. And even then he's not to be trusted. But for $1, we trust him. All he got to do is say, look here, brother. Ain't none of your people giving you no money. Here. Let me give you some money, brother. And the nigga tell everything. He'll go against all his ethics, morals, and principles. In the name of moving on up. But you ain't never moving on up with him. Because the slave and the slave master are never going to be equal. He's never going to accept you as an equal. I don't care what money you get, how many favors you have done him, how much you kiss his behind. He can't accept you as an equal. You're in his country, in his society. Until you create your own, you're not going to be accepted. So stop butt kissing. Stop selling out. Stop manipulating your own. If you're an expert manipulator, I credit you. Go manipulate the one that need to be manipulated. If you're an expert charlatan making money, I ain't mad at you. Go play that charlatan shit, not on your own people, but on the niggas who got the money that you're trying to get this money from. Don't come play it on the poor man. Because now you really violate. Stop calling the brothers who smoke crack are crackhead, or the wino or wino, because there's no such thing as none of that shit.
Now, you told me once before about the charlatans, and you would say, all I got to do is look at your hand.
The hands tell, crooked fingers, short thumbs, indiscriminate lines. All these things tell how your hairline sets, whether your eyes are straight or crooked or cockeyed. All these things tell. We're not into reading ourselves. We're into reading everybody else. But usually when we read everybody else, because we don't have real knowledge, what we're doing is reading about ourselves. I don't like you. Well, why you don't like him? You don't know him. Because there's some shit in him that you see about yourself. So you need to straighten self out and not worry about him. If each man did his job according to his capabilities, wouldn't nobody have to stand over your shoulder and tell you how to do your job? And you would know whether you're doing your job right or not, because the productivity of the effect of what you're doing will increase. We don't have to beguile each other. Why would I come out here and talk in a language that's so far out there that the only one understand what I'm saying is me? But yet, because I'm in front of this camera, you think I'm talking to you. This is why I have no agreement with debating. We're arguing, we're talking, and what we're talking about, the audience basically don't even know. It's me and you at each other. We don't basically even look at the audience. We looking at each other. And then when it get heated, we start cursing each other out. We get off the topic of the debate. And at the end of the day, my nuts is satisfied and your nuts is satisfied. But the people who we were talking to that paid to come to the debate haven't learned nothing. So the same way they came into the debate, that's the same way they leaving. How you know? Ask them. Damn, how did the brother sound? Oh, he sounded real bad. He was deep. Okay, what was he talking about? Now they can't explain it. Stop being fooled by beautiful sounds, beautiful pictures, eloquent dress. Knowledge is a mover. It's a motivator. It's something that when it strikes you, it causes you to act. What are you acting? You're acting upon that which you've heard. If you hear something and it don't move you, then you need to check what you're hearing and who you're listening to. Because the truth gonna make any one of us move. When we heard that the white man was the devil, and all our lives, as far as we was concerned, the devil had on a red suit, a red tight suit with a pitchfork.
Hey, hey, brother Shabazz.
How's everything?
It's going good.
Sci-fi in the building.
Peace, family. I'm in New York City.
All right.
Yes.
We had no knowledge of the real devil. As far as we was concerned, the devil was a pitchfork wearer with a red tight suit. And then somebody came along and said, look, that's the devil right there. Why are we calling him a devil? Not because his skin is white. Look at what he does all over the world. He's not forced to do what he do. He does this because this is what he do. The only one destroys everything where he goes is the devil. So then they ask the question, well, what made him a devil? And when we find out what made him a devil, it became very simple to understand the difference between the truth and a lie. He said, look, if you keep a man in history, he could never lie to you. So when we keep the devil in history, He always does the same thing no matter what year it is. He acts the same way. Even if the people change, he acts the same damn way. So that's the truth of him. He's a murderer and a killer and a cheater and a swindler and a conner and a trickster. But we've been around him so long that we've taken on and assimilated his ways. So now when we say, oh, I'm free, okay, we act just like him. But if you free and you see that you and him are different, why you ain't acting like you? Why you ain't being you? Why you not thinking the way you should think? You just got out of what they call slavery. You should be thinking about being free. But you ain't thinking about being free. How we know? Because if you was free, you would do things that a free man do. What? Go for self. Be independent. Build your nation. When we first got out of slavery, that's what we was doing. We was going for self. Them Black Wall Streets and Tulsas and all of that. We was going for self. We knew separation was the solution to the problem. Coming out of slavery. Here this is 2018 and you don't understand that. What can we do? You ain't gonna be forced to do your job. You just gonna get wiped out. Peace.